Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Frying Pan Podcast. Or I guess at this point it's just Daniel's diary because it's just me again. It's just me, guys. Hello, hi. My name's Dan. If you've been listening to the podcast, you know who I am. If you've been listening to the podcast, you know normally there's another person goes by the name of Robert, but 2 weeks in a row he will not be here. I really don't know why, but he said he couldn't make it. So here I am to try and provide your weekly content that I provide. You know how it goes down. You've been here before. We do pop culture stuff. We talk about everything. This is the Frying Pan Podcast. Do you like that introduction? Because I'm okay with it. Let me tell you, I'm listening to music in the background and I had like alternative kind of music on. It was like alternative EDM. It bangs, but it does not get you in the mood to have that silky smooth voice caress your ears. So I got jazz in the background, baby, and now I am living. Let me see. Past week, I've been back on my health grind. I am a very healthy boy. All we eat is like chicken, spinach, vegetables, sometimes some fruit, and like water and protein shakes. It's all I've eaten the past like week and a half. Ooh, except for Saturday. Because Saturday I made Korean fried chicken and it banged. I did an incredible job and I'm super proud of myself, especially for the fact that I was pretty inebriated for the whole process. I mean, now that like in retrospect, like maybe like hot oil and being, not at fully functioning capabilities, maybe not the best combination, but you know me, I like to live life on the edge. I'm a dangerous dude. I woke up feeling dangerous, so I'm gonna do what I do. But came out very good. I think I forgot to put the recipe in the bottom, but the sauce, like the gochujang, fuck, I always fuck it up. I think it's gochujang. That sauce, super fucking good. It's gochujang, ketchup, fuck, garlic, blah, 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 blah. I know, like brown sugar, honey. That's like to give it that saucy feel, give it a little thickness. And then, oh my goodness, what is the last thing? Ginger, minced ginger. And let me tell you, it smacks. But I will also say it is super sweet, and I don't know, it didn't feel sickening, which is very nice. But it did get to the point where like it was towards the end, and I was like, I need something to cut through the sweetness, and that's why normally you get you put some like green onions and they recommend peanuts, like chopped up peanuts to put on top to cut through it, which I didn't get, so shame on me, but it was very good. I will put the recipe in the or in the description this time because I would recommend give it a try. Why not? I'm telling you, it amazes me that there are kids my age, older than me even, that like still can't cook, even though I don't know how you feed yourself, guys. Like I understand, just microwaving shit or like just searing something in a pan or like cooking vegetables. Like that's pretty easy. No corona. But apparently, speaking of which, actually honestly fitting segue, apparently there is a company that is developing a coronavirus vaccine. Apparently it is at a 95% efficiency rating, as in like 95% of people that take it either like didn't get it or recovered from it. So that's great news. And I think Biden has a plan of like, I think the stimmy checks are coming back around. So all my independents out there, we live in it. We live in big. We're peaking. But so that's something to look forward to. Might need another lockdown because I think we do, because there in a lot of places people are hitting like record high numbers daily. I think it was in California they hit 13,000 in a day, probably a lot more. But I know it was the single highest. There's always a new every day. There's a new like single highest record for Corona because people just, I guess, want to die, don't care about each other, or what the fuck it is. But like, it's just every day, man. There's something new. There's a new single record every single day. It's like, hey guys, can we just put on a mask and not? But you know, how people are stubborn. It's just the way it is, sadly. But so that's some good news to start the day. Um, this topic would have been nice with Bobby, but I guess I'll ping pong back off you guys. But um, well, there's two parts to this. First part is Monday was National Fast Food Day. And before we get into that, I want to talk about how I feel like these like minor national something days happen. They don't happen once a year. Like I know there's national like cat and dog days, like stuff like that. That shit has to happen more than one time a year because I swear to God I see it so many times. Like in March it'll be National Cat Day, and then July it'll also be, and then in November maybe a National Cat Day. And it's like there's unless time is just flying by and I'm well, that could be the case, but time's just flying by and I'm not noticing it. I People are definitely like sneaking it in more than one time a day, especially for like National Boyfriend Girlfriend Day, where like if you're celebrating that, like, it's kind of weird in my eyes, like, you get each other gifts for, like, anniversaries or, like, birthdays, stuff of that nature, but, like, it's not a holiday. I mean, it can be cute, but it's just, I don't know, stuff like that I find very interesting. But back on track, National Fast Food Day was Monday, and I was gonna I was pretending Bobby's here, and I'm like, "Hey, Bobby, what was your favorite fast food as a kid?" And then see, this is you're filling his shoes this time, so you're gonna pause the podcast now, and well, not right now, but after I finish talking, and then you're gonna be like, "Oh, I really love Wendy's or whatever," and then it's like we're having a conversation. You just keep pausing after I talk, and I'm gonna say things that like could basically work with anything. Like you say, "Oh man, I really like Wendy's," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, dude, I really like it there. I love their chicken nuggets. Their fries are okay, but they don't compare it to this place." And like, it's applicable to anything. But I mean, that's if you want to like role play in your car to work or whenever you're listening to the podcast. Hey, I'm all for it. But regardless, uh, and give a little fast food ranking for you. Well, at least in our humble area of Connecticut, um, personally, we're gonna put Wendy's up there. We're gonna put Shake Shack up there, and probably Chick-fil-A up there. And then I think those are the only like fast food place that I can think of, like maybe not Wendy's. Maybe Wendy's, but like those are the only fast food places I can think of that are like kind of like a step above the rest. Because you got your Burger King, you got your Mickey D's, you got your insert other chain here, your Subway. I don't even know if Subway still exists, but they got sandwiches. I'm trying to think. Does Sonic count? I guess Sonic counts. They got drive-through. It's just people on rollerblades and stuff. It's they're different, but they're still part of the crowd. Regardless, but like I think everyone can agree like Chick-fil-A is always going to be up there in everyone's eyes because it. Two bad things about Chick-fil-A, I'll be honest. Closed on Sunday and that they hate gay people, but not everything can be perfect. Sometimes you get good chicken, sometimes you get homophobes. It's a tug and pull or a push and pull kind of lifestyle, I guess. But regardless, I mean, Chick-fil-A's chicken toast bang, the waffle fries are good, literally anything's good. And then Shake Shack, I guess you can do like, if you're West Coast and you listen to this, maybe In and Out. I don't know if you're a person that prefers In and Out. I've never tried it personally, so I can't give the Daniel Sear fast food seal of approval, which is a very high mark. If you can get that, your business will increase its profit tenfold. I don't make the rules. It's just how whatever higher being in the world is decreed it. So that's just how it is. But yeah, I guess like In and Out, Shake Shack, Chick-fil-A, that's the top tier. It's kind of hard to mess that up. Well, I mean, everyone's got their preference, but I think everyone can agree that Burger King is kind of at the bottom. And then this is the part where you're going to pause the podcast and you're going to be like, you know what? You're right, Dan. Burger King does kind of suck. Because, I mean, I know, personally, I haven't had, like, the only fast food that I've had within the past 2 years would be, like, a Shake Shack burger and, like, some Wendy's spicy chicken nuggets. Other than that, I probably haven't had fast food, like McDonald's or Burger King, in, like, 5 years. So personally, I don't know if the quality's changed. I know as a kid, I love Burger King. as a little fat, chunky little 200-pound 12-year-old. I loved it. I lived on that shit. We'd get that like once a week. Fuck yeah. Go to played a baseball game. I did well. Burger King, easy. I mean, I guess it's kind of I can't take any responsibility, so I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, that's my parents' fault for fattening me up as a kid, as if they're gonna cook me in the oven. They're not. I'm not Hansel or Gretel. They're not the witch. You get it. You know the story. Sorry, some people might gotta explain it. Whatever. But yeah, as a kid, love Burger King, and as a like 16, 17, when I first could drive, I couldn't drive my friends, but I did. Sorry, Dad. We'd always like 2 or 3 times a week. We'd drive down to the McDonald's that was down the road from our school, and I'd get like 2 McChickens and a medium fry every time. It could attribute to why I was a chunky boy. We're fit now. We're healthy. Like I said, it's a little, it's a little foreshadowing. This how you get it. It's story building. You get it. See, I'm not only here to inform you on like what's going on in the world. I'm here to educate you on how to structure your story, structure your shows, in case you want to do it someday. But regardless, if there's anyone out there, I mean, here, you can email me. You know the email. Or you can just message me on social media. Just be like, hey, if I'm wrong, you can tell me like, no, Dan, sorry, Burger King has increased tenfold. Burger King is the best fast food. Maybe I'll go out and get some. Do I want to? No, not at all. I don't want to go to fucking Burger King. Last time I went to Burger King, all right, nope, I remember last time I went to Burger King. Me and my buddy Kyle, we were DDing for our friends they were going to a party, and there was a Burger King nearby, and we're like, fuck it, why not? And we got mozzarella sticks. Now, that's probably our first problem, that we decided mozzarella sticks was the way to go from Burger King, but we were young. We were like probably 15, 16, and yeah, it was not good. I had to I distinctly remember I'm sitting in the passenger seat because I'm not driving. My friend was a little older, so he could drive, and I was just sitting there, and I want to die. I literally, like, I couldn't move. I felt so like gluttonous. Just you ever seen that picture like the fat Yoshi? That's how I felt, but like not as content, just more like dissatisfied and just like upset that I thought, hey, this is a good idea. I'm gonna go with it. He felt the same way, but I do remember that the friends we were picking up, they were drunk, and the 20 mozzarella sticks that we only ate like 6 of, like 3 each, they fucking killed it. They annihilated that shit. They were so happy. They're like, this is exactly what I needed. It's like, oh, that's great, dude. I'm so happy I was able to help. But it was a mess, and not something that I would like to try with again in the near future, personally. But shout out National Fast Food Day, I guess. If you have any, you got any like tier list that if you're like a fast food connoisseur, like you're the Dame Drops of your friends group. He's a food reviewer. Shout out Dame Drops. He's in Connecticut. If you listen to this podcast, Dame Drops. You ever want to come on the pod? We can talk about fast food tier list for like an hour. I'm down, buddy. But regardless. I always do that shit where I'm like, insert popular name here that wouldn't want to work with me because I have literally no advantage for them. If you want to do a charity event and give me a little bit of like notoriety or recognition from your fan base, let's do something. I know I have nothing to offer for you, but like, come on. I don't know. I guess I do that about a lot of things where like eventually it's, you kind of manifest things, you speak it into existence. So eventually maybe that is a possibility down the road. If I, stay consistent and keep improving, maybe it will happen. Only time will tell. You never know. One day I could, be watching Gordon Ramsay Hell's Kitchen videos, and then the next moment I'm cooking with Gordon Ramsay and he's calling me a donkey, and I'm like, this is the best thing that ever happened to me. I wonder if, that's actually another thing. I wonder if people that like work for Gordon Ramsay, like I wonder if he works in restaurants still. I imagine he makes enough money to where like he doesn't have to, and maybe he's like, oh, let's get back on it. Cause, well, I guess like I don't know if Hell's Kitchen's actually still going on. I don't know if they do new seasons. I do know that I've never watched a full episode of Hell's Kitchen, but I have seen enough clips on YouTube to where I'm pretty sure I have seen the entirety of Hell's Kitchen a few times. I could tell you who wins like seasons 1 through 10, but God bless YouTube, I guess. Regardless, I don't know. It's I guess it goes with like anything out there. You never know what's gonna happen. A lot can change in a short amount of time. At least that's what I keep telling myself. And like I've seen it firsthand with a lot of people, where like they're down on their luck, and then string of good things happen. Next thing you know, they're back on top, and that's it's always nice to see. You love to see people succeed, unless obviously it's bad people. Insert handful of names you can think of off the top of your head now. But speaking of like kind of rising up, I don't know if any of you remember that Chop Suey song from System of a Down. Anybody remember them? I know you do. If you heard the song, you'd be like, yeah, of course I do. Well, apparently they released their first new song in 15 years, and I'm like, why? Just why? I mean, granted, I don't know how many diehard System of a Down fans there are. I know personally I'm not one of them. I always viewed them as like, just kind of like a Nickelback, where it's like they make music and it's there, and there's probably people that enjoy it, but I know the majority is pretty in the same boat of like, yeah, it's someone out there likes it, it's just not me. But they released a pair of songs titled Protect the Land and Genocidal Humanoids, which I was like, yeah, that makes sense from a metal band. But apparently it's because there's a serious war apparently like in development in their homelands, and they're an Armenian metal group for people that don't know. But I don't know, it's very interesting that there was like actually like a very like serious meaning to it, because I just wrote it off as like System of a Down trying to make a comeback. I don't care. But I guess shout out them for using their platform for something positive, I guess, like shining light on what's going on in their home countries. But I was very surprised to learn that. But I guess what's kind of nice is the royalties from the downloads of the songs are going towards what is known as the Armenia Fund, which I mean, if you want to vote to the Armenia Fund, I guess I can help you, or I could put a link in the description. I don't know how many Armenian people listen to this, or if you're just like, hey, I'm a good person, let me donate. But it's to help boost their humanitarian relief efforts. So if you're interested in donating to that, either you can find it, or it's just armeniafund.org. But I don't know. I just thought it was very interesting because, like I said, I just wrote it off as like, System of a Down making a comeback. Cool. It's like if Nickelback came out of retirement. It's just whatever. But I guess shout out them. I guess I shouldn't judge a book. I shouldn't judge a book by its cover, you know? So shout out System of a Down. I'll be honest, I haven't listened to either song yet because the only song I could tell you I know by them is Chop Suey. But Chop Suey is so like iconic, you know what I mean? Like I feel like I hear that song in so many different things, or just like made fun of or like memed around. So, it's still culturally relevant somehow. I guess there's a lot of things that are just making a comeback on TikTok. Like a lot of songs that either like I grew up on, or like even like my parents grew up on. Like I know there's the put your head on my shoulder, that song. I can't remember the artist's name, but I do like the song. I've been seeing that one popping up again into relevancy. And like I know people like they remake old songs and stuff of that nature. I just always find it interesting that like some songs feel so timeless. Like obviously you can tell some songs like, hey, the production wasn't as good just because like people didn't know that much, or it just wasn't that well made. But sometimes it's just so iconic that it keeps coming back and back, man. And it's like it's all songs that were a little before my time. Like I feel like we're in the reviving like early 80s 90s music, and that's slowly coming back, and then eventually it's going to transition to like 2000s music is gonna make a comeback, and then like music we listen to now is gonna start coming back, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, I remember this old jam," because people talk like that, obviously. But regardless, I mean, I'm sure sicko mode will disappear for like 10 years, and then everybody will be making whatever the next social media fucking video platform is, and they'll be using sicko mode. And then me being the old man in my chair, in my wheelchair, in my old age, in 10 years, yeah, in my 30s, um, I'll be like, I remember when that came out. I remember going to see him in concert. And I did. That was fucking wild. That's something I miss, man. I want to. People, for the love of fucking God, just put on a fucking mask and let's go in lockdown, because I want to go to concerts. I want to go to festivals. I want to do stuff again that is not just going to Stop and Shop. Please. The one thing I will say I'm really missing this year is the past 3 years. My friends and I, we done Friendsgiving, and it's been really fun. We all make a dish and we all bring it. We all have a good time, and that's one thing we don't get to do this year, just because few we have like three of my friends are going to college, and sometimes they have to go on campus, and that's kind of scary. One friend works in like a public school system. That's kind of scary. And then me and another friend, we both have apartments, so we will pass random people here and now, like going to our like rooms. So that's kind of weird. It's just like we're all in different points to where we don't feel comfortable, especially for how much like some people still live with their parents, or like some people visit their parents. We don't feel like taking the risk is worth it as much as we'd like to, and it just sucks, man. It's I mean, we're very thankful that like we get to talk to each other every day, because we use like Discord or anything, just text each other. Like we always keep up, but it does I do really miss like being able to interact with people face to face, or like give someone a hug or dab someone up. I don't know. It's kind of shitty, but I mean, we've been going through it for a while now. It's just kind of the norm, but I'm hoping with the new vaccine that it does look semi-promising. 95% is good, but obviously, not 100 yet. So that's good. I have faith that maybe Biden will have a plan. He did talk about the stimulus checks and getting a group of scientists together, like a scientist task force. So maybe we'll have good news in the horizon. Or maybe it was all like a 2020 thing, and then when New Year strikes, it'll just be like, the pandemic is over. All cases have ceased to reproduce. World peace is upon us. The world is healing. Climate change is not a thing anymore. The world is beautiful. Maybe, but probably not. I'm just just trying to be optimistic, have a good outlook. Um, let's see. One other thing, or this is kind of the main thing that was on the cards for today, was I guess Harry Styles was on the cover of Vogue, and a lot of people were not happy. It I don't know. It's a very interesting thing, and I guess it comes down to opinions apparently. But on the cover he's wearing like very feminine clothes, like he's wearing a dress, and there are a lot of people that are like up in arms, and they're livid because it's ruining masculinity. Like our good old friend Ben Shapiro, if you don't know him, he's just a fucking, piece of shit person. I hate Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro, if you listen to the podcast, this is why I don't respect any of your views. I think you're just a piece of shit, but hey, you keep going and abusing, people that can't think for themselves. You knock them dead. But he was tweeting shit out like, pretending that men dressing like women does not feminize men is ridiculous, particularly coming from the same people who are celebrating Styles because he's feminizing masculinity. And it's like, who cares? Like, who the fuck cares, man? It's just like, because it's not only him. I've seen a lot of people with the take of like, oh, him making it seem dressing feminine as a man is like an okay thing, and that's not good for our youth. And it's like, who fucking cares? Literally, all like clothes are is just like essentially a way for people to express themselves, I'd argue. And on top of that, female, like women's clothing is so much better than men's, man, in terms of expressing yourself. Like, I'm so jealous of how women get to dress because it looks just so much like, I don't know, it looks better. Some cases it looks comfortable, some cases not. But like, I'd love to fuck around and wear a dress. I bet that shit feels so freeing. But kind of can't. It'd be kind of weird if we did. That's just the norm. But I don't know. It's just all that shit. I don't understand why feeling like I've seen a lot of takes of like men being like, this isn't masculine. This isn't what men do. What happened to manly men? Bring them back. And it's like, who fucking cares? If I want to wear a dress, cool. I still like chopping down trees or shit. Like I still like it doesn't define people, and it's just like a judgmental way of thinking. And it's not like it affects people directly. It's just something they don't like. And if like your defense is like, well, it's just my opinion, it's like that's entirely fine. Like you're entirely more than welcome to have an opposing opinion, and I welcome that. If people like opposing opinions are nice because it creates discussion. Discussion helps build, an understanding of both sides. I mean, that's ideally how, opinions work. 9 times out of 10, it's just, your opinion fucking sucks. I hate you for it. And I mean, there's a few cases where like I'll agree that that's, I guess, not the correct way to go about it, but it's the way I would. Like if someone's like, we should bring back slavery or racism's okay. It's like, hey, bud, not in the fucking slightest. Sorry. It's like, well, that's just my opinion. It's like, no, see, now it's just a humanitarian issue, and it's just a problem. That's not like an okay way of thinking. But regardless, I don't know. This one really bothered me for some reason. I guess because like I see myself as a more feminine person. Like I painted my nails on Monday, and they look nice except for my right hand, because painting with my left hand onto my right hand was very difficult because I'm right-handed, obviously. So it just didn't work out. And it's like a lot of the issues for me is it feels people don't want to evolve with the times. People are so stuck in their ways on how things used to be, of like, me manly man, me take care of all tasks, woman stay home, clean kitchen. And it's like, all right, caveman, like go fucking nuts. If that's your ideal thing, sure. Like I'd love to be a stay-at-home dad. I want to be a stay-at-home dad. If there's any sugar mamas listening to this, please hit me up. I'm tired of working I'm tired of having responsibility. Just let me clean. I'll wear a fucking maid outfit. I don't care. Just let me clean that goddamn house and just welcome you home. I'm A-okay with that. I prefer that. This is a cry for help. If you are out there and you are willing to financially fund me just to survive, let's do it. But regardless, back to like my original thing of like people not evolving. It's just like, especially with like the age we're in now, where I guess like everything is pretty much accepted. Like there are people that are out there like defending pedophiles. Like obviously not something I defend because that's just not okay. But it's the fact that like people are so open to anything nowadays that like having your set in stone views of like man marry woman have kid, 2 kid dog, big house, men do work, woman clean, do nothing. And it's like that's just what you sound like. You don't sound like, oh, this is the ideal way and this is why I think why. It's just like you don't understand that like it's not 1960s. People change, people grow, like the world is ever evolving, and you gotta grow with it or you'll be left behind. And that's how it should be. And that's not how you should want it to be. Like, and the thing is, like, I also find it interesting that Harry Styles is not the first dude to wear a dress. There is like you can look like years back and you'll see like famous people wearing dresses. It's just, it's Harry Styles, and Harry Styles, like, he's Harry Styles, hot as shit. But regardless, I don't see why it's an issue, man. And people get, I hate the, like, if you're just like hey, I'm a dude and I don't want to wear a dress because I don't think it'd be comfortable, or like I don't like how it looks. That's totally fine. But like shaming somebody else because they want to just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. I don't get it. I just wish people would like grow more. Not grow, not like, oh, grow up, but just like you got to understand how the world is now, and you got to evolve around it. You can't just be stuck in your own ways. It's, I guess it's just all a part of understanding. I just didn't understand why this was such a huge deal. Because I mean, I guess it's a huge deal because it's like it's air quotes breaking gender stereotypes. But it's like I tell you, man, I am so jealous of the fat like women's fashion as opposed to men, just because like female fashion seems more like fun, and like there's so much more stuff you can do, whereas men's fashion is just kind of a lot of it is like pair different suit with different tie and different button down kind of deal, or just like different layers. But I don't know. There's a lot of styles that I like. The one style I think I'm really jealous of is that like women can get away wearing like an oversized hoodie and just like no pants. I wish I could do that, but me and my hairy ass legs, it doesn't look right. And I'm just envious of it. I'm just a little jealous, I'll be honest with you. And there's a few other styles that like, I can't I don't know the fucking names of it. I wish I could rock a crop top, but I think I could, but I gotta lose a little belly fat first. When the six pack comes through, I could be a crop top guy. I think I could do it. You know, I mean, I guess it's the thing of like, if you're happy with it, it doesn't matter. But I don't know. I guess it's all about having like a self confidence for it. And it's like it's the same with like anything in life. If it makes you happy, go with it. Obviously, if it's not hurting and harming other people, and based on what you dress, it doesn't really hurt anyone. Unless like, all right, unless you're wearing a shirt that's like "fuck you," and then insert whatever, and that's like pulls a gun on somebody every time it detects that they are that kind of person. Like maybe that's not it, right? Maybe that's. But then again, that's so outlandish, and like I'm reaching so hard for that it doesn't make sense. But like a dude slapping on a dress doesn't fucking matter. Or if like girl wears a suit, literally doesn't matter. I don't know. There doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be so like black and white. Like you can mesh them together, but it's not like him putting on a dress is like destroying masculinity. It's not like all like dudes out there that like work in construction, do very manly jobs are just like, you know what? Ever since Harry put on that dress, man, I don't have the desire to work with the heavy machinery anymore and get down in the mud. I think I want to be a cosmetologist. And it's like, Ryan, no, you can't. Like, think about what we built here. We're men. He's like, yeah, you know what? I don't want to be anymore. I want to wear that dress like Harry did. It's like, that's not happening. That's not happening. People, like, dudes aren't just changing into women randomly just because you wear a fucking dress. It's like, hey guys, it is just fashion. And also, you think like it's basically normal at this point, and especially with like I know kilts. People wear kilts, which are literally just like man skirts. Who cares? Let it. I don't know. It's all just a load of hoopla for me over here. But I guess I'm too brainwashed by social media. I don't know. I don't know. How many times have I said I don't know? We'll keep a tracker. It's in the top right. It's not, but it's probably at like 200 at this point. Because that's all I keep saying. I'm telling you, we're trying to get better at doing the solo shit. Because eventually, maybe, like I said, I'd like to do a little solo thing. But I mean, ideally, I would like to have my good friend Robert back on the show. But I don't know what's going on with him, man. I tell you. I know everyone's got their own problems and people like keep themselves. It's just, you try to reach out and you try to help people, but eh, sometimes either they don't want it or you just don't know the right way to help, and you try to give suggestions, but you don't know if you're helping. And I guess it all comes down to it begins with them, and if they want to, you know, be better. I don't know what the case is, but I'm trying to get better. It also helps that it's a podcast and I can edit it. so you don't see me fuck up all the time, which happens quite a bit, believe it or not, as smooth and clean as you think I may be in this whole podcast business after doing it for like, almost 3 years. We're starting to get a little grip on it, but I don't know, I guess you kind of fall out of love of doing something when you do it for a while. There's definitely been times where like I've wanted to not do the podcast, where I'm just like, who cares? No one listens to it. And it's like, I'm tired of giving up on things before I see, I guess, what the end result could be. Because I've done that with so many things, like so many like hobbies I picked up that I think I could like, you know, ideally for me, I'd like to turn my hobbies into like my job or like my passion, but not to the point where it's like I get sick of it. But I guess that's how you got to find that fine line for people that do stuff like that. But regardless, I mean, I remember a few years back I wanted to do culinary school and try and become a chef because I love cooking and I thought that'd be a fun thing to do. But I didn't even get off the ground with that. I gave up so fast just because I was like, oh, I can't commit to this. I know if I wanted to be a chef, I'd have to, like work my way up, and I don't want to do that. I guess it's just the fact of starting out new things is scary, and I don't know. There's really no excuse for it. Because I wanted to say like, oh, you don't want to waste time on something that you don't think will go anywhere, but you don't know. That's always a problem, is you don't know if something can take off. You gotta, it's like a plant. You gotta water it to see it grow. It's not gonna happen overnight, but over time, things change. Now I'm all philosophical. Your life is like an oak tree. You must give it time to evolve and grow into the steady oak it may be. You just have to be patient, young Padawan. Grow with the wind. I got like a nice Fu Manchu. I'm the turtle from Kung Fu Panda right now. Not at all, but maybe I could be. But regardless, I don't know, man. It's just something I don't want to give up on. I'm like I said, I'm just tired of giving up on things. I mean, I've been doing this podcast for 106 episodes. Is that right? Give me a second. Drumroll, please. Yeah, this will be episode 106, and it's like that's almost 3 years of my time because we have only missed 1 week of recording, and that was because there was like a hurricane and we both didn't have power. But you think that is 105 weeks straight or 106 weeks straight? I guess yeah, we did hit no. Well, we hit the 3 year mark I think in November. Sometimes the end of the month. Or no, maybe it is the 2 year mark because we started in 2018. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the I guess actually I think I missed the 2 year anniversary. I think it already passed maybe. That'll be really sad. I don't know how the fuck I didn't keep up with that. Well, now I gotta scroll all the way down and see what the first date was because I think it was like the 18th maybe. So maybe I'm close. But regardless, it's just the fact that like I don't know, it feels good to stay consistent and I'm very happy with like what we've done so far. Oh, it was the 8th. Yeah, so I did fucking miss it. Shit, guys, my bad. Well, the 8th was the 2 year anniversary and today's the 16th? 18th. All right, I'm 10 days late. How you like that? So, yeah, that makes sense. 104, I guess, would be the 2 years since 52 weeks in a year. Yada, yada, yada. I'm not thinking. I'm just rambling again at this point. But, I don't know, man. I'd like to do it for a few more years. I mean, ideally, I'd like to do it for as long as I possibly can, just because it's a easy thing to do. I've learned how to edit, which is very nice through this. I've learned like how to level audios and how to make audio sound nice, which is kind of harder than you think it'd be. Because I don't know. I've been editing like videos since I was like 14 when I made like Call of Duty cut commentaries. A little known fact, and I made like FIFA videos, so like I understand how editing works. I've just never had like a powerful enough computer to use, or the money for that matter, to do like Sony Vegas. I know how to do Premiere, and like I know how to do Premiere like pretty well. I took a course on it. It's just the fact that like I can't do it on my computer, which sucks because every time I do anything I try to make will just crash. But it's frustrating because I know how to use the program, and I'd love to be able to apply for things that like need a few years of Adobe Premiere because it's like I know what I'm doing, but I just can't, like, I don't have a portfolio because I literally cannot make the videos because I don't know. It's just so sad, but I guess it's just the way it is. I am looking to upgrade this Black Friday, hopefully. I've had this computer for 6, almost 7 years now, and it's definitely done its time, but it's a tragedy because it's like a gaming computer, obviously. You know me, big gamer guy, and I bought a pre-built for like $1,000, and I was so excited for it. And then I found out that like 2 years later, that apparently a month after I bought my computer is when they upgraded like CPU, graphics cards, all that shit, to where stuff, like the stuff that was introduced a month later, is still efficient today. But like essentially my stuff is outdated by like 8, 9 years. So essentially, my computer is 8, 9 years, not officially, but like performance wise. So she's definitely done her time, and I've been very grateful that it's lasted me this long. But I definitely need to upgrade my shit because I can't even play the games I want to anymore because my computer can't run them, or I can't like edit or use certain programs because the computer can't run it. It's just it's a disaster, I tell you. But let's see. Next week's podcast is going up on Thanksgiving, so I mean, obviously, I'll tell you again then. But and we'll probably talk more Thanksgiving topics. Hopefully, he's on next week. I'm try and force him. Hopefully, but try and talk more Thanksgiving topics next week. I gave a little sneak peek last week with everyone's favorite side dishes, but I know personally it's just me and my sisters and my mom and dad, because normally we'll have like aunts and uncles come down, but this year nobody lives like in Connecticut. Everyone is a few states away, so it's either they'd have to fly down or drive down, and nobody really knows where anyone's been. So it's just it kind of sucks not being able to see like especially like my uncles and my cousins and aunts. I don't know. You, I don't. I guess you miss people more than you think when you don't get to see them, because they'll stop by. They'd stop by occasionally. I'd see them like a few times a year, and it's always nice. It's like a little breath of fresh air. But knowing that I won't be able to see them is kind of sad. But I guess it'll be nice to have a quieter Thanksgiving and a Christmas. But oh, that's another thing. I would highly recommend that if you are doing Christmas shopping for your family, or if you're getting your friends something, I would definitely say hop on it sooner than later, because I could only imagine if I was a like UPS or FedEx driver, I don't know if I'd make it through this Christmas, especially because everything is probably going to be ordered online. I mean, I guess in the recent years it has been because everything is just bought through Amazon regardless. Guilty over here. But yeah, definitely get on that sooner than later. Just a little word to the wise. I know I have almost completed my Christmas shopping, but shopping for my dad is virtually impossible because he's the type of person where he's like, "Oh no, I don't need anything." And it's like, "Well, what could I get you?" And he's like, "Nah, nothing." And I'm like, "Oh, you motherfucker." So I always just end up getting like my gift to my dad is usually just a bottle of Jack Daniels because my dad likes Jack Daniels. That's it. Not that my dad's an alcoholic. Like, there's more to my dad than just Jack Daniels. But normally, I guess it's kind of like a gag gift where like we're all just like, here's a bottle of Jack, go wild. And he's like, well, yeah, I'm not gonna complain, and that's fine with me to be honest. If it's fine with him, but I don't know. It's like I want to do something more than just that. Like I wanted to get him a neon sign, but it wouldn't get here till well, neon sign was for like his man cave that he's got going on, but that wasn't going to be here till January, so it's like, fuck, I don't want to get him a late present. So, if you guys have any ideas on what to get a dad, um, please, shoot out some suggestions because I'm drawing blanks, man. And if you say some shit like, get him a number one dad mug, I will not respond. I will not acknowledge it. I will make you feel shameful that you think that is the good gift. If I was like 7, sure, my dad's getting a number one dad mug because I don't fucking know. He's a number one dad. But I am not 7 years old, so I could definitely afford to get him something, not at my school book fair. But Jesus. Regardless. Let me see if I had anything else I want to talk about. I know I've been rambling for a little bit, and I think said the same thing over and over again about Harry Styles wanting to wear a dress. But I don't know, man. This jazz playlist is fucking hidden, by the way. If anyone's on Spotify, it's called Jazz in the Background. It's like a 6.5 hour long playlist. Oh my god. I'm literally so cozy. I'm literally lying on the floor, wrapped up I'm cocooned in my favorite blanket that I recently washed, so it smells like strawberries kind of deal. It smells very fruity and clean and nice. And I am just having the time of my life over here by myself. And yeah, I guess I don't want to keep you guys too long. The solo episodes I want to try and keep, a little under 50 minutes. And I know it's just kind of like, well, what's the difference if you normally do an hour video with Bobby? Well, you can tell that when I kind of get towards the end, I'm kind of just speaking my mind and just rambling a bit. And I don't know if that's what people like. I don't know if people are here to only hear about the topics or if they're here for my little comedic spin I put on things. I don't know. I don't know. And that's why I want to try and keep it shorter, but I end up just talking for a long time because a lot of times it's just nice. It feels like I'm venting. Like it feels like I'm talking to like a therapist that just doesn't talk back or give me any advice. So I guess more of like a diary. It feels like I'm like verbally writing in a diary. And then if it's like if people listen to it, cool. And if they want to interact back with me, very cool. But yeah, I don't want to drag this on for too much longer. Thank you for listening to the Frying Pan Podcast. You can find us on all audio platforms, from, Apple Music or whatever it is now. I still don't know, man. iTunes, I don't know. Spotify, Stitcher, pretty much anywhere you can find podcasts except for like SoundCloud and I think the Google Play Store. But yeah, guys. If you want to interact with me on Twitter, it's at ETOSTV. I don't know, say hi. Tell me how your day's been. Give me some good news. Give me something to look forward to. But thank you guys for listening. I appreciate your time. I hope you all have a nice week. And I hope to see you guys back here next week, maybe. I don't know. Take care. Tell someone you love them. Be safe. And yeah.